When I was very young, I went to a school just like that one, the same sort of design, except it was in South Wales, not here in Bath. I'm going to tell you a story about a book which came out very recently, within the last week or so, called The Sinister Booksellers of Bath. And I can reveal to you who the actual Sinister Bookseller of Bath is. I wonder if you can guess. For those of you who don't watch this channel regularly, my name is Stephen E. Andrews. I'm a writer, bookseller and collector. And as you already gathered by now, I live in the city of Bath. This is a story about an event I ran in the bookshop I work in back in 2017, 2018. And it was with two popular writers, Joe Abercrombie, the anti-heroic fantasy writer, author of the First Law trilogy, which I enjoyed greatly when I first read it about 15 years ago. It's in my book 100 Must-Read Fantasy Novels. And an author called Garth Nix, who this video really focuses on. And this morning is Saturday. I'm not working, it's a nice sunny morning. It's early, just struck 9 o'clock. I'm going down the village post office to post some books I sold on eBay. So I was hosting this event with Joe Abercrombie and Garth Nix, and Garth is Australian, an Antipodean. He's very tall, he's a very nice chap. He reminds me physically of Vic Reeves, Jim Moir, the sort of comedian, actor and artist. And it was a great event, lots of people turned up, and Garth of course started his career as a YA or children's fantasy writer, and has grown in popularity. His audience has grown with him, and he was promoting a book called Angel Mage, which was new then in hardcover, and I said we had a sort of packed crowd really, and this is Angel Mage. This is a black and white picture of it. And he talked about how he was writing a book called The Left-Handed Booksellers of London. I instantly realised, of course, that left hand meant left-hand path, the path of black magic. And I said, oh wow, as a bookseller, I'll be all over that, we'll be all over that, we can't wait for it. And time went on and the book came out and it was successful, did really well. Went in our sort of front of store promotion, and it's a fantasy book about booksellers in London, and there are two types. There's left-handed booksellers who are magical and there's right-handed who are mundane, and that was pretty much what it was about. And then about a year ago, something popped up on his social media feed, which I follow because he's a heck of a nice guy, as I say, and it showed that he was doing a book called The Sinister Booksellers of Bath. Here it is. And I made a post and said, surely Garth, that's about me. And there was a bit of a nod and a wink in the response. I won't say any more than that. And this is the first edition of The Sinister Booksellers of Bath, just published. And as you see, it's very beautiful. And I must thank my friend Victoria for this, because I meant to sort of get myself sorted out with one, and she requested one and got one for me, which was really kind. And there's the bookmark. And yeah, it's set in Bath. So of course, if you want to know who the original Sinister Bookseller of Bath is, it's me. Well, that's what I'm claiming anyway, and I've sort of interacted with Garth a bit more since then, and you know, he's never denied it. So there you go. So this is the new book, and it's always fun to read things set in the city you live in. And Bath, you know, is it a literary city? Well, people talk about Jane Austen, Jane Austen, Jane Austen and Jane Austen. They don't talk about William Beckford. I do. There's a video about him on my channel. They don't talk about Fanny Burney, and she was important as well. And of course there's things like the local crime writer Peter Lovesey, and you know, other things pop up from time to time. So I'll just show you the book, and yeah, it's quite beautiful, as you can see. Very, very nice, and it is set in Bath, and there's lots of areas that I recognise, and obviously Joe Abercrombie lives in Bath as well. course, Bath was founded a long time ago, pre-Roman. It was a Celtic site, the site of a shrine to the local god Sul, a god of waters, because of course there's a spa and water comes up out of the ground and it's highly chemicalized and you can't drink it these days, it has to be treated before you drink it. And back in the Regency period, when Austen and her types were around, it was a big thing. People would come to take the waters. And of course, before that, the Romans were here and they built a large bath which you can still visit. What's my take on the book? Well, I tried some of the magic described in it. It hasn't stopped millions of cars from coming past at 9 o'clock in the morning in a country lane when I'm trying to film, so I'm not a bit sceptical about that. But it's good fun, you know. I would describe it kind of as a children's book for adults because, you know, it's not really sort of challenging or anything. You know, there are some crimes and murders and there's lots of magical stuff in it, all set around the city I've lived in for many, many years. So it's great fun, it really is. And, you know, more original than a lot of the other fantasy out there. It doesn't rely on tired sword and sorcery tropes. And it's something that, you know, a lot of people enjoy and something you can read before you come to the city. And yeah, it's really good fun. So that's the story. Maybe I'm the Sinister Bookseller of Bath, as I claim, we shall see. I wonder where the sequel will be set, because there's bound to be another one coming, I'm sure. You would not believe how much traffic and how many people have come past in this tiny little lane outside of Bath at 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning.